Alright guys, welcome to Country Club Fragrance Reviews. My name is James. We are going to be taking a look at 10 tobacco clone fragrances and cheapies. Alright, let's waste no time here. First up on our list is Milano Privé from Paris Corner. And this is a clone of Paco Rabanne 1 Million Privé, which is a discontinued fragrance. This stuff smells amazing. It has cinnamon and citruses, tobacco, it's slightly resinous, and it has a little bit of vanilla underneath to give it just a bit of sweetness. This does lean a little bit more on the sweeter side and is not very deeply masculine like a lot of tobacco fragrances. Overall, this is a slightly sweet, cinnamon infused, resinous tobacco scent that really leaves a nice scent trail. As long as you can keep your expectations in check and know that this is a $25 fragrance, I think you'll enjoy this. I get about 6 to 8 hours out of this, and the price on this is around $25. To me, this is a heavily underrated fragrance in the clone space. I just don't see this being talked about enough, especially for the cost. This stuff is under 30 bucks. All right, next up, we're going to go in a little bit different direction, and that is with Fragrance World's Olfactory Music Fest. So this is a clone of Maison Margiela's Jazz Club, which is supposed to invoke the feeling that wearing this fragrance, it will take you to the sense of a jazz club. If you think of rum, smoke-filled air, dustiness, wood tables, smoke, tobacco, alcohol, rum, that is the journey that Jazz Club is supposed to take you on. So Olfactory Music Fest does a pretty decent job of getting you there. It is certainly not a one-to-one clone, but it definitely gets you in the ballpark, and for around 25 bucks, that's not bad. So when you first spray this on, it's very dark, spicy, and masculine. It has a lot of pink pepper, leather, a little bit of smokiness to it, and has just a little bit of vanilla underneath to smooth it out, to make it not so harsh and spicy. This is for someone who likes more of a leathery, woody, spicy tobacco fragrance that has a little bit more bite to it. This is completely different than the Milano Privé that we just looked at. Performance is okay for this, definitely for a $25 fragrance. I get about 6 hours of longevity, and I get decent projection for about an hour to 2 hours, and then it kind of slowly dies down into a skin scent. If you're not familiar with this fragrance, you can go to a lot of places, have Maison Margiela fragrances out for sample, like Sephora. You can go there and try out Jazz Club to kind of see if this is your jam. While Olfactory Music Fest is definitely not a one-to-one clone, it's going to get you in the ballpark of that type of fragrance. Next up, we have a cheapie, and that is Banana Republic's Tobacco and Tonka Bean. If you ever go to any rack store like Burlington or Marshall's, this stuff is everywhere. And because it's always there and always looking at you, if you shop in those stores a lot for fragrances, it's hard not to buy this at some point. As far as scent on this, it opens with plum and citruses. Underneath that, it's very sweet vanilla and like a wet tobacco. This is a good choice if you're looking for more of a fruity, sweet tobacco fragrance that is not that harsh and spicy tobacco scent like Olfactory Music Fest. I think the big bottle is around $20, and if you can find a small bottle like this, I think it's around like $10 or $11. You're going to have to like plum and fruits, because that's really what you get a lot of in the opening. Then it turns into almost a tonka bean bomb, very strong tonka bean scent with some moist tobacco leaf underneath that. Very easy fragrance to wear. As far as longevity, I get 4 to maybe 6 hours out of this, and projection is not great on this. It I get decent projection for about 30 minutes, and then it turns into more of a skin scent, at least for me. Next up on the list, we are going to move into the niche world, and that is with Xerjoff Naxos. And we have a clone for that, and it is Paris Corner's Vue Elegante. So just like I'm sure a lot of you guys have fallen for the hype train with a lot of clone fragrances based on YouTube reviews, I am a consumer too, and I'll be honest with you, I jumped on the hype train a couple years ago when this came out, and I must say that I was very disappointed in this fragrance based on how hyped it was. I don't know how many times that I heard or read that it is 99% close to Xerjoff Naxos, and when I got this in the mail and I first sprayed it, just no, not there at all. I know some of you guys will completely disagree with me. Totally fine. Everybody knows it's different, including mine. But I just got to be honest with you and say that this is nowhere near a 95 or 99% clone to Naxos, at least to my nose. So you're probably thinking, James, why do you have this on your list? 3 reasons. 1, it's a clone fragrance. 2, it's a tobacco clone fragrance. And 3, it's not a bad fragrance for $30. It smells good, it smells nice, it's just not Naxos. So what I get out of this is a very powdery, lavender, sweet fragrance with jasmine underneath that almost smells like a little bit of Sweet Tarts candy crushed up, along with honey and some tobacco and vanilla. To me, this falls right down the line of what I would consider a unisex fragrance. It's not too feminine and is not masculine. Overall, it's a very busy fragrance. It's got florals, it's got sweet honey, it's got vanilla, it's got tonka bean, it's got tobaccos. It's a little bit powdery, it's a little fruity. And overall, to me, it does smell nice. I do enjoy wearing it. It's just not a one-to-one clone to Naxos. Look, I may get ribbed for saying that, but I'll be honest with you guys. If I said this was 99% accurate, guarantee somebody would comment that I'm a shill.
What is this guy really? A car mechanic? Some kind of shill?
For Paris Corner. So I'm going to get the hate either way. I'm just going to be honest with you. All right, next up we're going to go with another cheapie, and that is the king of 1996, and that is Remy Latour Cigar. Guys, we are scraping the bottom of the barrel as far as budget tobacco fragrances with this stuff. I've seen this for around $12 on Amazon. Sometimes it's around 20, but you can just look at the bottle and know that this is something that you've got to buy, even if it smells like crap. If you head over to Fragrantica and take a look at their note breakdown, you would think that the top 5 perfumers in the world got together to create this masterpiece. It's got plum, pineapple, marigold, jasmine, Virginia cedar, patchouli, tobacco, all kind of other fragrance notes. I'm here to tell you that is a lie. That's a lie! Here is what Remy Latour cigar smells like. Wet cigars on a leather chair. That's it. It smells like a little bit of sweet tobacco and a touch of leather and maybe some dust. That's what this fragrance is to me. But if you are a fan of tobacco fragrances, this is one you have to get in your collection just because of the history and nostalgia of this scent, the tin it comes in, and the bottle. Performance is, as you would expect, 4 to 6 hours. Longevity is terrible. Projection is not too great. It's moderate for about the first hour, and then it's a skin scent. Next up, we are going with Charuto Mysterious Tobacco by Paris Corner, or Pandora Scents, which is under Paris Corner. And this is a clone of Carolina Herrera Mystery Tobacco. A lot of people say that this is a clone of Mancera's red tobacco. I can see that. It kind of has a similar vibe, but the opening to me is very distinct, and the fact that it's called Mysterious Tobacco makes me believe that it is a clone of Mystery Tobacco. So right in the opening, it has a really amazing note of osmanthus flower, which is a slightly floral apricot scent. I personally, I hate florals, but to me this smells more like a fresh apricot in the opening with some spiciness and ginger underneath it. And then after a few minutes, it turns into a very masculine, woody, and tobacco fragrance that falls in line with the Mancera red tobacco type scents. It's very woody, masculine. It has that apricot still underneath it throughout most of the fragrance. Overall, this is just an amazing tobacco fragrance. And for me, the performance on this stuff is amazing. I get around 10 hours of performance on this, and I get really good projection. And this is something that people can generally smell from 4 to 6 feet away, even after a couple of hours of the initial spray. If you like honey tobacco, then take a look at Insurrection 2 Wild by Rayanne Tradition. And this is their inspiration of Thierry Mugler's Pure Havane, which was a great scent, but it has been discontinued. This is a solid alternative. What's so good about this fragrance is it's got a really nice cherried honey tobacco scent, along with a touch of vanilla underneath. It's got a good bit of spiciness underneath that too, and just a really light touch of cacao or dark chocolate. But overall, the prominent notes to me are cherry tobacco, honey, and vanilla. I will say that this is a fairly linear fragrance, but that's not a problem because it smells good throughout. Price on this is around $20 to $25 usually, and as far as performance goes, I get about 8 hours of longevity, and I get really good projection for about an hour or two. So as far as the value of the fragrance for what you have to pay for, this thing is incredible. If you're a fan of those Thierry Mugler fragrances and you haven't had an opportunity to wear those in a while because of it being discontinued, this is really something that you should check out. It does a really good job of representing the original, and of course it has a fantastic price point. Alright guys, that's it. If you enjoy this type of content, do me a solid and hit that like and subscribe button.